And shifting focus to Gaza now, US President Donald Trump seems to have given the green light for the Israeli takeover of Gaza. In a statement that's ignited fresh controversy, Donald Trump has refused to take a stand on a possible full military takeover of Gaza by Israel. Asked whether he supports the move, this is how Donald Trump replied.
Yeah, we are there now trying to get people fed. As you know, $60 million was given by the United States fairly recently to supply food, and a lot of food, frankly, for the people of Gaza that are obviously not doing too well with the food. And I know Israel's going to help us with that in terms of distribution and also money. We also have the Arab states are going to help us with that in terms of the money and possibly distribution. So that's what I'm focused on. As far as the rest of it, I really can't say. That's going to be pretty much up to Israel.
That's going to be pretty much up to Israel, quote unquote. That's what Donald Trump said. His comments come amid growing speculation that Israel is preparing for a complete ground occupation of Gaza, a plan that is reportedly favored by the Israeli Prime Minister. In fact, on Tuesday, Netanyahu met with top security officials behind closed doors for over 3 hours. Israeli media now reporting that a full-scale military occupation is on the table, but not without pushback. Like we told you last night, Israel's Army Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir, seems to be against it. He is said to have issued a stern warning. A full occupation, according to the Israeli Army Chief, would be like walking into a trap. Instead, Zamir has suggested more targeted encirclements of Hamas strongholds in places like Gaza City, as well as refugee camps that are densely populated areas where Israeli hostages are believed to be held. But the Israeli Defense Minister has been quick to strike back. He wrote on social media, I'm quoting here, the Chief of Staff may express his views, but once the political ranks decide, the IDF will execute those orders with determination. Netanyahu is now expected to convene his war cabinet again on Thursday to finalize the next possibly decisive phase of the war. And all this as the world watches on in horror, looking at what's unfolding in Gaza. Earlier this morning itself, Palestinians in Gaza City cleared the debris and rubble that was caused by an overnight Israeli strike that hit the area surrounding a UNRWA clinic. The building had been warned of a strike, in fact, and those in it evacuated earlier in the day. Meanwhile, people mourned their loved ones who were killed while trying to secure aid yesterday and held funerals outside the Al-Shifa hospital.
Where should we go? There was a strike overnight. Only God knows what happened. All night, almost until 2 a.m. We stayed out in the streets. Look, do you see how we look?
Remember, the war in Gaza began when Hamas killed 1,200 people and took 251 hostages in that attack on southern Israel on the 7th of October 2023. Less than 2 years. In fact, Israel's offensive against Hamas in Gaza has continued. It has since killed more than 60,000 Palestinians. Much of the tiny coastal enclave has been devastated. Homes, schools, mosques, hospitals have been reduced to rubble. Most of the population has been displaced multiple times. Aid groups saying residents are on the verge of famine. Even aid distribution sites have become a scene of death and destruction in a way. On Monday, dozens of people were killed or injured as crowds rushed towards food distribution points and airdropped parcels. Many of the casualties were taken to the Al-Abda hospital after being directly targeted in the area near the Netzarim corridor, a military buffer zone established by the Israeli soldiers in central Gaza during the war. But you see, it's not just the Palestinians who are paying the price of the war. A shocking new video released by Hamas this week showed Israeli hostage Eviatar David, gaunt and frail, He was reportedly forced to dig his own grave. Donald Trump, speaking to reporters, had described the footage as horrible. But while the focus remains on the fate of the 49 hostages still in Gaza, of whom only 20 are believed to be alive, the humanitarian catastrophe in the Strip is deepening by the day, and the UN has repeatedly warned that over 2 million Palestinians are at imminent risk of famine, and that the trickle of food, water and medicine allowed in is nowhere near enough. And as we mentioned earlier, Israel's campaign has so far killed more than 61,000 Palestinians. And now, with calls for a ceasefire growing louder and diplomatic efforts faltering, Netanyahu is poised to escalate.